Hello there, Richie Stormtrooper here, welcome back, and as promised a quick tutorial, or maybe just a quick info video about the use of this glue here, E6000, which is a favourite with some Stormtrooper builders. Before we do get started, if you find this video useful or interesting, please do like and subscribe. It's one in a long series of tutorial videos all about building your own Stormtrooper armour. We'd love to have you on board. As promised then, this is a video about E6000. If you want a quick overview of the options you have for adhesives and different bonding solutions, then there's a separate video on that, on what glue you can use for building Stormtrooper armour. Here I'm going to be focusing specifically on this and showing you how I use it to assemble one side of this bicep part here, and looking at the main differences between this and my weapon of choice. I pretty much assemble everything using plastic weld. Somebody also asked me about using pipe cement, whether that's a good idea, and of course the answer is yes. That's a very similar in principle. It's the same solution as this. It's a solvent based solution. You'll think you're dealing, when it comes to pipes, you're also dealing with ABS plastic. This of course is ABS plastic, so it's going to be a similar type of solvent. That's fine. I would say in this video we're looking at E6000. How can you use it as an alternative? Why would you? Well, for some people it's just the weapon of choice, and there are certain benefits. I have quite a lot of experience with building Stormtrooper armour, so I'm looking for something that is quick, tidy, easy to use, and I'm not too worried that I'm immediately going to have a permanent bond. That's why I use plastic weld. I'm pretty certain that by now, with the experience I have, that I can get a part ready and trimmed right before I commit to gluing it. Now, this is probably a good option for people who are not so certain, probably gluing parts for the first time. I find it a little trickier to use, but there is one big advantage in that this is just a bit of scrap. Stick a bit on there like that. Although this is an industrial strength glue and it will give you an excellent bond that it will stand up to the rigours of trooping, it's really slow acting. That, first of all, it's going to take a while to get up to the sort of tackiness that you want to actually start putting your parts together. But even then, it's going to take hours and hours and hours to reach, to cure properly, to reach its proper bond strength. So if this was our armour, we'd have a lot of time to position things. If we get it wrong the first time, we can slide it apart, we can pull it apart, reposition it. We've got a lot of time to correct our mistakes. And I also find, when I first started using this, I was worried about the mess, because you get quite a lot of residue. Naturally, it squirts out of the sides. Another great thing about this is it cleans up absolutely perfectly. This is not quite as tacky as it will be once you've finished assembling your part, but for demonstration purposes, you can see it can be completely removed with the thumb. Even when it's cured, it kind of forms like a rubbery consistency. So if you've got any residue outside of those, so outside of your cover strip on the armour itself, it's really easy to use. I think you can probably appreciate that here. Kind of goes off with, it comes off with the thumb, and it's this kind of rubbery, flaky consistency. It's really great. It will clean up absolutely completely, and it won't damage the finish of your armour whatsoever. A little bit messy, but it will come off completely, so that's really good. Also, once you've assembled your parts and they've cured, you may find you've assembled your part and it's too big. It's not slim fitting enough. In fact, this may even be the case with this. I've got this quite generously dimensioned for my arm. Overestimated my biceps. I've not been in the gym that much. With this, I've welded this part. This is plastic weld. I'm pretty much stuck with that. I'd have to cut that apart and peel that off and break a bond, which is now actually essentially this is one piece of plastic. There's no longer an adhesive. There's no adhesive layer between two parts holding two separate parts together. So I'd have to pretty much destroy what I have again. Now with this E6000, I don't know how it works. It's a miracle substance, but it will hold your armour together very, very reliably so that you can run around in it all day, and it will resist impact. It will not fall apart. That said, once you've got a cover strip glued just with E6000, fully cured, it's been on there, I've done it myself, it's been on there for months, weeks, whatever, you can, with little effort, you can peel it off slowly. You work a corner open and then you can pull it apart without damaging anything, and the residue of the glue underneath, again, even after a long time, weeks and months, you can rub it off with the thumb. So you can not only readjust as you are assembling the armour, but it gives you an infinite amount of time to pull your armour apart and keep adjusting. So that's why maybe it's the choice for some, and it's still, with all that benefit, it is still an industrial strength hold. So I understand its charm. So I'm just going to proceed then as if I was assembling my armour with this glue. And what you want to do is take your cover strip, it's going to be that way around, and apply a thin bead on there on one side, on my cover strip, set that aside, and the same thing on the armour. At this point, it's sometimes quite useful to use a scrap bit of ABS, like it were a lollipop stick, spread that out a little bit. You could probably even get away with just applying it onto the cover strip. This is pretty messy. And for it to reach some kind of level of tackiness, I find it's better if you set that aside for maybe 15 minutes and wait before you clamp things together. As I say, very slow working adhesive. So we've done that, we've let this take effect, get a bit tackier, and all we have to do is then offer that up. Let's start on one side. As I mentioned, you can slide this into place and don't need to worry that you're going to damage anything and leave any removable residue to clamp this into place. Quite fiddly. I've chosen quite a fiddly part to demonstrate this with. I'm going to be sliding bits into place. By all means, use your clamps and whatever tools you have got. What I probably am best demonstrating here is why I have got no patience for this glue whatsoever. I like to use a bit of super glue, get things temporarily held in place, and then switch straight to welding. As you can see, you have the option. That's quite tacky, but it's going to take quite a lot of help with your strong magnets to hold that all in place. You can see there I've got quite a lot of residue goop coming out of the corners. If it's your glue of choice, you're probably better at using it than I am. Take your time with it, and it's going to be a case when we've got that all held into place. Imagine we've applied all these magnets. It takes a good, I think, maybe 8 hours to cure. I generally, when I have been using this, just left the parts overnight and find that that's perfectly sufficient. I hope this was interesting. It's, as I say, it's not my glue of choice. I use this more for certain bits of fabric. We'll come to that when we're doing final assembly. There are certain bits of bobs where I use this to glue fabric into the plastic. But I just wanted to let you know that you can use this glue, that it's got certain benefits. It may be a good choice for you if you're not that confident about your first build, and if you've got the patience to use it. Just wanted to highlight that, and hopefully it was of some use. I will continue with the build in the next video. We're getting close to final assembly now. As I say, if this was useful, interesting for you, please do like and subscribe. I will be back more, and we will soon have a complete set of tutorials for building a Stormtrooper armor. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.